My name is Evelyn. I'm a 35-year-old working mom. I married Nathan, my college sweetheart, when I was 25. Our son Lyle is 8 years old. Our marriage, which should have been smooth sailing, is anything but predictable.
Hey, we're having another New Year's gathering at my parents' house next year. Can you help out with a few things?
That's what Nathan casually dropped on me. I was looking through some photos I always carry with me. I stopped and stared at Nathan. His comment circled in my head, and my mood instantly plummeted. It's just a New Year's gathering, but it's a big deal for me. For me, the New Year's gathering at my in-laws is the most depressing event of the year. Ever since we got married, it's been a constant struggle. The never-ending snide remarks from my mother-in-law, and the surprise visits. I've been caught off guard more times than I can count. I even had to take unexpected days off work because of her sudden visits. But those are minor issues compared to the New Year's gathering. My mother-in-law frequently invades our home, but we only go to her place once a year for this event. It might be less frequent, but it's intense. What do I mean by intense? I can answer that right away. It's a harassment festival. Unlike her usual passive-aggressive comments, these are blatant and abundant. One year I was made to prepare a ton of food for the New Year's gathering. What is this? It looks awful. Is this what you feed my son every day? My mother-in-law criticized the food I made. I'm sorry. If you don't like it, don't eat it. I held back my frustration and tried to laugh it off, only to hear, "You know, it's rude to serve this when we have other family members coming over. I'm embarrassed you're my son's wife." And she just kept on criticizing. But when the relatives arrived, she served the very dishes she had complained about. And she even said, "I made this because my daughter-in-law is so useless." There was no opportunity or space to correct her. I was constantly ordered around by my mother-in-law. Wash the dishes, make some snacks, do this, do that. And she happily ate the food. Nathan, who didn't lift a finger, also ate. Frustrated, I mentally hosted a boxing match to get through it. Another year, I had almost forgotten about the New Year's gathering when my cell phone rang. The display showed mother-in-law. I'll just pretend I didn't notice. I turned the phone face down. After a while, it stopped ringing. Just when I thought I was safe, the landline rang. Again, the display showed mother-in-law. I let out a mental scream and reluctantly answered the phone. "Hello?" "You're so slow. Answer my calls immediately." I wish I could say, "I'm busy too, you know." But being the timid person I am, all I could do was keep apologizing. My mother-in-law announced another New Year's gathering. She wants me to come early and help with the preparations. Why me? Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to help. I'd feel guilty leaving it all to her. But shouldn't your son, Nathan, help too? When I mentioned this, she said, "Nathan works hard every day, you know. Are you a devil for wanting him to help? We're both working, full-time, you know. Remote work might seem easy, but it's not. Plus, Nathan doesn't care about housework or childcare. He does nothing. He lives like he's a carefree bachelor, totally doing his own thing. I'm the one who's really pulling the weight here. Maybe it's hard for her generation to understand that." Reluctantly, I headed to my in-laws' house early that morning. I had a bad feeling about this, and sure enough, it was as I expected. Cleaning, laundry, shopping, yard work. I was exhausted from being treated like a maid by my mother-in-law. By the way, my father-in-law couldn't care less. He's like a ghost. After finishing all the tasks, now comes the cooking instructions. I muster my remaining energy to cook, and as usual, mother-in-law sighs at the sight of my food. Ugh! It looks as unappetizing as ever. Don't eat it if you don't like it. I'm sorry, I'll do better next time. Huh? I accidentally said what I was really thinking instead of the polite response. I tried to cover it up, but by the time the relatives arrive, I'm at my limit. I work non-stop in the noisy gathering. I barely get to eat. By the end of it all, I'm a walking zombie, so I have zero good memories of these New Year's gatherings. But it's a once-a-year celebration. If I can endure that, the rest is just minor annoyances. But that one time is unbearable. How depressing. I sigh deeply as I compare the carefree Nathan, who's humming away with the secret photo I have. Then the day of the New Year's gathering arrives. Happy New Year! Welcome! Your uncles are waiting. Come on in. Oh, you, go buy this. As my husband and son greet everyone, I'm completely ignored. Mother-in-law pushes them into the house and emotionlessly hands me a note. It's already 3 days into the new year. The supermarket is open. It's definitely open. But when I look at the note, I scream. 10 kilograms of detergent? They're having a New Year's sale, so it's cheap. A minimum of 50 cans of beer? You know how much our family loves to drink. It'll be gone in no time. Ignoring my astonishment, mother-in-law quickly goes inside. Hey, Nathan. My silent plea goes unanswered. Nathan is already drunk. I sigh and head out to do the shopping. When I return, struggling with heavy bags, the atmosphere inside is lively. Mom, welcome back. Over here, over here. Lyle waves at me with a smile. Finally a moment to rest. I think, just as I'm about to sit down, and then I notice something. There's an array of food on the table. It's an impressive sushi platter. Each person has one in front of them. Wow, that looks delicious. Tuna, shrimp, salmon. Even to an untrained eye, it's clearly high-end. As I sit next to Lyle, salivating, I realize something. Wait, where's mine? That's right, there's no extra sushi platter anywhere. Why? Where's my high-end sushi? If you don't have any, you can have some of mine. My kind son offers, but I can't accept food from a child. As I'm pondering this, mother-in-law says, "Ah, yes, I forgot about yours," and leaves the room. She returns with something and places it in front of me. Here, this is yours. Is this? It's a scattered sushi box. I look at the box and see a sticker. My eyes widen in shock. It's from the supermarket where I just went shopping. The price, $7. Everyone else gets high-end sushi, and I get cheap supermarket sushi, and it's even marked down because it's close to the expiration date. What's going on here? Mother-in-law laughs and says, "Special service. You have a small appetite after all." Even Nathan is laughing, saying, "Lucky you." Mother-in-law grins maliciously. Nathan chuckles frivolously. Even though the relatives and father-in-law are visibly uncomfortable with this blatant mistreatment, no one dares to speak up against mother-in-law. I see. The heavy shopping was just the beginning, so this is the main event of the annual harassment. The moment I see Lyle's concerned face looking up at me, my anger explodes. I let out a big sigh and adopt an apologetic posture. Seeing this, mother-in-law laughs triumphantly. "Oh, what are you apologizing for? You want the fancy sushi that badly?" This is no joke. Let's make it clear that this isn't an apology. I smile warmly. I'm announcing the end of the Good Wife campaign. What? Mother-in-law frowns at my sudden declaration. Ignoring her, I leave the room. I head to the kitchen, pick up the shopping bags, and return. Hey everyone, drinks are here. I stack the packs of canned beer on the table. Everyone is stunned. I say cheerfully, "Wow, it was tough being sent out to buy all this as soon as I got here. Nathan didn't help at all. He's just eating and drinking with you all. Isn't it amazing that I bought all this and 22 pounds of detergent? I am so great. Go ahead, everyone, drink up." The beer I bought is delicious. By the way, it's on me. But that's okay. It's just another one of mother-in-law's orders. Let's drink, enjoy the beer. I paid for it. I hand out canned beers to everyone except my son. It's warm inside, and a cold beer should be perfect for winter. What's the matter, everyone? You're so quiet. You never say anything when I'm working hard every New Year's party. So are you staying silent now too? Come on, drink and make noise. I'll prepare the snacks, do the dishes, and go buy the drinks this year too. Just ignore me and have fun. I'm getting out of breath from talking so much. I look around the room. It's as quiet as a funeral. What are you saying? Mother-in-law breaks the silence. What is it, mother-in-law? Do you even understand your duties as a wife? You're not a guest. You should be moving and helping. What era are you talking about? Are you stuck in the past? Actually, even in ancient times, roles were more evenly distributed. I don't really know, but... Sure, I'm Nathan's wife, and I understand that helping is natural, but what I'm doing is way beyond helping, isn't it? You're not doing anything, mother-in-law, and I'm the only one moving. I'm basically a maid. That's not true. I'm just educating my son's wife. So discriminating against me with sushi is a part of that education? You think it's okay to discriminate against your son's wife? Oh, that's... Mother-in-law falls silent, unable to respond. Hey, Evelyn. Nathan raises his voice after mother-in-law goes quiet. What? I sharply glare at Nathan. He flinches for a moment, but manages to glare back. You know how hard it is for Mom to host the New Year's party. As my wife, it's your duty to help. Apologize to Mom. No. I cut off Nathan's words. First of all, this is your home. I've been helping because it's your family. What have you been doing? You're the actual son, and you're not helping at all. You don't even know that your wife is out buying heavy stuff. What's going on? Well, if you had told me. You just waltz into the house and start eating and drinking without a care in the world. And when you see your wife being discriminated against like this, you say, lucky you? What's so lucky about this? I'm getting heated. Don't mess with me. My final shout makes Nathan shrink back. Pathetic. As I glare at Nathan, it's now Mom's turn to attack. You're so arrogant for a daughter-in-law. What do you think you're doing? We don't need a woman like you. Divorce immediately. Well... Nathan can't argue back. A wife should just listen to her in-laws and follow her husband. Nathan, next time marry a woman who will listen obediently. At those forceful words, my eyes lit up. Oh, really? So, mother-in-law, you're a submissive wife who never goes against father-in-law? When I ask, mother-in-law retorts, Of course. Well, if that's the case, I open my bag and pull something out. A photo I always carry with me makes its grand entrance. Is it just me, or can I hear triumphant trumpet music? So obedient, mother-in-law. What's this? I scatter the photos. They flutter down. Everyone's eyes widen as they see the photos. What is this? Someone shouts. Probably everyone. Who is this man? They're holding hands. Hey, they're going into a hotel. Yes. The photos show mother-in-law with some unknown man. In every photo, they're holding hands, looking cozy, and some are even too explicit for children. What on earth are they doing in public? Of course, I made sure my son couldn't see. I thought it was strange. Mother-in-law kept coming over without any real reason. It seemed odd just to make some snide comments, and I wondered what she was doing while leaving father-in-law alone. When mother-in-law started coming over frequently, causing me to take time off work, I noticed something. Mother-in-law would arrive at our home, dressed up for no apparent reason. Suspicious? I hired a private investigator to look into her activities. And here are the results. Mom, what is this? It's not what it looks like. Mother-in-law desperately tries to explain to a skeptical Nathan and relatives. But the evidence speaks louder than words. There is irrefutable evidence right in front of me. No one believes mother-in-law. In a panic, mother-in-law turns to father-in-law. You believe me, right? This isn't what it looks like.
What's not what it looks like?
Father-in-law looks down at a desperate mother-in-law. His eyes are cold, snake-like. Usually, father-in-law is so unobtrusive, you barely notice him. But now he's genuinely angry. A strange sound comes from my mother-in-law's throat.
You think you can talk your way out of this with all this evidence?
It's not what it looks like. Father-in-law brushes off mother-in-law's hand and approaches me.
I'm really sorry for everything. I was led to believe you were happy to do all this work. Even if that were true, it was wrong to let you do it all alone. I apologize.
He offers a deep apology. Following his lead, the relatives also hurriedly apologize.
Would you mind giving me those incriminating photos?
Of course, I have the data, so I can provide as many as you need. Father-in-law nods apologetically, collects all the photos, and leaves the room. Wait for me! Mother-in-law's pitiful voice trailed off as she followed father-in-law out of the room. The rest of us, left behind, started cleaning up without a word. We packed the leftover food into containers, washed the dishes, and wiped down the tables. Even tidying the messy room, work I had always done alone, was a group effort this year. It was easy and incredibly fulfilling. Cleaning is actually fun when everyone pitches in, I said. Everyone gave a wry smile. A while after that New Year's gathering, where I had spectacularly rebelled, I got a call from father-in-law. He and mother-in-law had finalized their divorce. Mother-in-law, kicked out of the house, had apparently turned to her affair partner for support. But when father-in-law demanded alimony in the divorce, the man dumped mother-in-law and disappeared. Shunned by relatives and with nowhere to go, mother-in-law was taken in by her brother. According to father-in-law, her brother is a very strict man who severely scolded mother-in-law. Under her stern brother's watchful eye, mother-in-law is now living a constrained life. As for me, I'm currently separated from Nathan, a husband who does nothing, a husband who doesn't help his wife, a husband who doesn't defend his wife. I have no qualms about living apart. The apartment we lived in as a couple was one I had rented since before we were married. I've always paid the rent, so it's only natural that Nathan should be the one to leave. He seems to think we can start over, but it's too late. Nathan had been able to spend money freely only because of my earnings. Now that he has to pay his own rent, he's apparently broke and living in a cheap apartment. He's struggling to do everything himself and often comes crying to me for help. Of course, I ignore him completely. Lyle doesn't seem to mind that Nathan is gone. It means that Nathan, who never did anything around the house, had no presence as a father to begin with. Lyle talks about school with a smile. For me, the answer was already clear. I was about to start walking a new path in life, together with Lyle.